Hi there, everyone. So nice to see and be with you again uh, for Medicine for Your Soul. I'm your host, Carolyn Jones, and we're going to delve into some more flower essences this evening. The music you just heard was a snippet from Ramadasa by Yogi Amanbir. If you want to learn more about him, go to AuthenticHarmony.com and you can hear the whole piece. I'm an acupuncture detoxification specialist, herbalist, aromatherapist, flower essence practitioner, reflexologist, and I operate through sound therapy and spiritual care. My website is behealed.info, and I've written 3 books that I would love for you to read: Pick Up Your Bed and Walk, Incantations, and the book we're actually going through, Medicine for Your Soul, uh, in order for you to learn how to create your own flower essence misters. So each formula is based on essential oils, which, if you're unfamiliar with essential oils, they are highly concentrated plant extracts, and they're used for their therapeutic properties and support emotional well being, skin health, and physical balance. In the formula, there are also hydrosols, which are water based, and they are aromatic waters produced during steam distillation of plants for essential oils. They have no real scent. Some of them have a slight scent, but it's not perfumey or an intense scent like you would find with essential oils. They're gentle and they're water based, unlike essential oils, but certainly used for emotional, mental, and physical upkeep. And our star of the plant medicine we're talking about is flower essences. And the history behind them I've always found to be quite fascinating. They were discovered by Edward Bach, a British doctor, and he was also a bacteriologist, a homeopath, and spiritual writer, known for developing 38 formulas. One very popular one is Rescue Remedy, and it contains 5 ingredients, 5 flowers. He noticed that people with similar emotional and personality traits also tended to develop similar illnesses. So that led him to believe that disease originated first in the mind and emotions, not the body. He conducted in depth research and he had a very spiritual worldview and was actually a medical intuitive. So the healing system he developed uses the energetic imprint of flowers. They are gentle, non toxic, accessible to everyone, and best of all, water based. So that means that no matter what medication you're on, if you wanted to ingest it, it would not affect you in an adverse way. In his research, he identified 7 categories of fundamental conflicts which prevent us from being true to ourselves. And what we'll be doing on this program, Medicine for Your Soul, is we're going to be going through each emotional disturbance and then seeing what mister we could create in order to counter it. So, our last program we did loneliness, and this week we're going to do oversensitivity to influences and ideas. And as I said, we'll be following up on each condition uh, at every session. But we're going to start out with a tongue meditation. So, why don't you take this time to close your eyes and take a deep breath and release through your mouth, inhaling through your nose and release. And you're going to place the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, otherwise known as your soft palate, and press gently for 5 seconds. Then release. Now relax your tongue. Hold it still. Allow it to rest gently on the floor of your mouth. Take a deep breath, hold, and release. You may not notice the placement of your tongue throughout the day, but when you think about it, just take some time to relax your tongue. Once again, place the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Press gently, release, relax, and be still. And don't forget to take that deep breath, hold it, and release. Now let's talk about oversensitivity to influences and ideas. What does that mean? Oversensitivity to influences in others, sometimes called emotional permeability or high empathic reactivity, is also someone who is highly impressionable with a tendency to absorb moods, opinions, stress, or expectations from people around them as if these energies were their own. And I certainly went through a phase like that in my life. It can be a type of a growing pain until you learn better. So the causes range from nervous system sensitivity, which means that one experiences a stronger response to tone, body language, and emotional shifts. That's why meditation is so good, because it teaches you how to not react. Early conditioning, a need to stay safe emotionally or physically, and rewarded for caregiving, basing stability on the moods of others instead of how you really feel. Weak boundaries, not knowing how to say no. Empathic or intuitive disposition, just very hypersensitive to your surroundings. A tendency to tune outward rather than inward, more concerned about what's going on around you than what's happening inside of you. And chronic stress or danger. Sometimes people grow up in some very stressful conditions and it doesn't let up, becomes chronic. And that can actually have a deep effect on their emotions. So the emotional effects are mood swings without clear personal cause, emotional exhaustion or compassion fatigue, anxiety in group settings, cognitive effects, difficulty distinguishing your thoughts from others' opinions, overthinking social interactions, and self doubt and second guessing yourself. From that, you can experience physical effects, which include tension, headaches, digestive upset, shallow breathing, sleep disturbances, relational effects, people pleasing or overgiving, and attracting emotionally dominant or needy individuals. You might wonder, why am I always attracting, people who are always needy or who are always ruling over me, bullying me, and difficulty maintaining autonomy in close relationships. So there are some practical and sustainable remedies. You can get in touch with your feelings before you engage with others. In other words, think before you speak. I'm sure you've heard that before. Journal your feelings. Be honest with yourself. Sometimes you can't say to others what you can honestly say to yourself. Determine which feelings are yours and which feelings are not. Are you carrying what someone else said about you. Like Reverend Ike used to say, don't let anyone should on you. Okay? Limit exposure to emotionally intense people when you feel depleted. So you can practice neutral phrases like, I'll think about that, or just say, that doesn't work for me. You can start small because boundaries grow with repetition. And you have to learn how to regulate your nervous system. So you can do that through meditation, learning how to be still, being satisfied with being with you. Okay. Oversensitivity lessens when the body feels safe. Deep breathing can be helpful. So let's try it. Slowly inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. Go. That's inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. You might even try putting one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Slowly inhale for 4. Fill those lungs up. Hold it. And this time, just squeeze your body real tight. And release. You can also do gentle humming or toning. Don't forget about your warm foot soaks or grounding baths. You can put some herbs, steep some herbs and put the water in a nice basin and soak your feet. Take that time for yourself. It doesn't take that much time. A lot of times, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't. Yes, you do. You do. Um, one less scroll on the internet is a couple of more minutes to fill the basin to soak your feet and just be. Nature contact, bare feet on the earth if possible. So, in speaking about courage, wrapped in baby's breath and celestial light, I was born. My life woven into the fabric of time. My first act of courage, elusive, unnamed, the opposite of fear. Standing tall, there was courage in my stumble. I trusted, fell on concrete. Mercy, soft and pliable, unnecessary, unapproachable weight rested on my heart. Ouch! My innocence was overshadowed, unseen, unheard, unfelt. The ground held my burdens, the world, loud and sharp rings, increasingly unkind. Pulls of gratitude and strength support my choice. Quiet, open, my heart needs no permission, nor do my broken pieces, which I humbly place on the altar of wisdom. I forge forward, bearing my scars, directing my light, my testimony still in motion, head held high, I exude courage, a divine inheritance. It's a poem that I wrote especially for you. So, as we want to learn more about flower essences, the go to organization would be the Flower Essence Society, which is dedicated to the research, preparation, and teaching of flower essence therapy. So, the traditional sun infusion method is to harvest dew fresh flowers, float them in water, and expose them to direct sunlight for several hours. thereby extracting the vibrational imprint of the flower to affect the person or animal that you would use it on a subtle, non chemical level. So, just to clarify, there are formulas for pets, and they're gentle enough for children. So, now we're going to look at the ways that we can use flower essences orally, drops or pasteles. I love the pasteles. I keep a can by my bed. It can be diluted in water. It can be used topically on your pulse points, your wrists, behind your ears, and over your heart. Put them in your foot bath, okay? Soak your feet, soak your body with it in your bath water. You can make compresses, put them in creams, oils, and lotions. You can inhale it. You could do steaming, just like you would a eucalyptus steam. And misters. That's what this program is about. It's about showing you recipes for misters. And in applying the essential oils to the mister, you're only using 1 drop of essential oil. Okay. So, once again, flower essences are water based, safe for children and pets, and not contraindicated for pharmaceutical medications. My book, Medicine for Your Soul Essential Oils, Hydrosols, and Flower Essences, is a recipe book. And you can use it for your mind body alignment and subtle energy attunement. And it's great. You know, people tell me they spray the misters on pillows, in their space, on themselves with great results. So each one of these sessions, as I mentioned before, will be a deep dive into the Medicine for Your Soul recipes that address emotional imbalances. And we're going to focus on courage. So, first up is yarrow. Okay. And that would be its power, which would be energetic shielding against psychic overload. It protects empaths, energy workers, and individuals who tend to absorb the pain of others. It also supports centering in chaotic situations. Then we have vervain. Channels fiery energy into focused purpose, teaches surrender and trust, and clears mental fog. And sweetgrass. Oh, and I must tell you, the sweetgrass smells so wonderful. You know, the hydrosol, sweetgrass. You can actually, even though hydrosols don't often have a scent, you can smell the sweetgrass. It is so delicious. So, sweetgrass welcomes benevolent spirits, clears stagnant and heavy energy, and harmonizes the spiritual and physical realms. And I'm just going to refer to the book very quickly. So, we're talking about white yarrow flower essence and vetiver essential oil, and then sweetgrass hydrosol. So, we're up to the part now where I certainly would like to chat with you. You can put your questions or responses in the chat. But I want to bring to your attention a quote from Wayne Dyer, who said, "How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours." And that's really something to think about, because sometimes people can treat you in a way that could make you act outside of who you want to present yourself as. But you have to have control over that. One of the quotes from my book, Pick Up Your Bed and Walk, a self care guide to improve health, um, that came from me, is dream your dreams to your great satisfaction. In other words, consider your dreams to be important, whatever they are. They're your visions. And you must satisfy yourself um, with those dreams. It's your responsibility, really, to fulfill your dreams, to work at your dreams and allow them to come true. Allow them to come true. And you can awaken the dreams of your inner child, learn new skills, pursue hobbies that enhance your gifts. Practice putting yourself first until it begins to feel natural. Maintain your boundaries and disallow abuse to your gentle soul. Stay in the now. Accept what is without judgment. Be still and invite clarity. You might want to throw some rosemary oil in a diffuser or in a carrier oil and apply it to your hair or your wrist in order to get that clarity. It's great for cognitive healing. So pay attention to your dreams. The great dream scholar and my teacher, Robert Moss, I love this quote from him. It says, "You are born to fly, and in dreams, you remember the soul has wings." He also teaches not remembering dreams is often viewed as a symptom of being disconnected from one's own soul and its guidance. And he argues that dream recall is essential for maintaining soul coherence. And failing to remember dreams means missing vital messages, healing, and creative guidance intended for our waking lives. And I decided that after every session, I would like you to repeat after me. I expect the very best in life, and I allow myself to receive it now. Affirmation by Louise Hay. If you're interested in making your own plant medicine, consider getting my book and going through the recipes. And I would love to hear the results of that mission. That said, let me see if I have any chats to respond to. Yes. Hi. Hi, Robin. So you've used Bach remedies for children and dogs. Yes. A couple of drops in water, and it did what you needed for it to do. And vervain. Now, you've never used sweetgrass? What form? So you can get the braid, you can get a sweetgrass braid, but in the misters, if you're talking about the misters, you would get the sweetgrass hydrosol. Okay. And mountain rose herbs is they have a wonderful, nice, strong scent with their sweetgrass hydrosols. You say you're working on dreams. Oh yes, mugwort tea is great for dreaming. And I've also found blue vervain tincture to offer some very nice dreaming experiences too. But certainly mugwort does the trick. You use rosemary, yes. And of course, we know that it's great for hair growth, but it also is great for cognitive healing. And oh, you've used it right for memory and the circulatory system. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Oh, you're out of Canada, Ontario, Canada in the house. Yay. All right. So if there are no other questions, we'll close for this evening. But I want to thank you and thank you, Robin, for showing up. And hope you enjoyed the poem that you inspired. And I look forward to seeing you on the first, what? No, no, the third Wednesday of this month. So it's the first and third Wednesdays of each month. And we will be talking, I believe the next topic is love, but I know love is coming up soon. Yes, love is the next recipe. So I'm looking forward to seeing you and be well, be safe, and experiment with some flower essences. You won't be sorry. Good night.